What up? It's your girl Motivation with V, and this is Get Real with V, where we're going to get real, we're going to get raw, and we're going to get down to the truth. And I am your host, Veronica Swazo. Welcome back, y'all, to season 2. Today, we have another very, very special guest, a good friend of mine, Kristen, who I've known since my Herbalife days. And if you've been following me since season 1, you would know that Herbalife was a stepping stone for me where I really learned about what personal development was, where I learned how to take care of my mind, body, and spirit. And so that's where I met Kristen. And I've been seeing your journey since then. And it's been amazing to witness your journey because I literally have seen you like from when you first got your studio for your esthetician business to see where you're at now. And I just feel it's important to highlight you. When I started this podcast, you were one of the few that I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to her. Today, you're going to get your flowers. So I'm so excited. I appreciate you for being on here. I'm honored and I'm excited to hear more about your journey, what it was like, the challenges, the mindset shift, everything, and how you went from like Herbalife to starting an esthetician business. What I've noticed through social media is you're traveling to speak, you're doing trainings, you're training new estheticians, you're doing your own retreats. Like you're making moves, girl. You're the definition of badass. Like you open up that dictionary, your picture's right next to it.
Love that.
So I just, I'm excited to hear more about it. And I'm sure there's other women out there that maybe want to get into this business or they have a business idea and they just need some hope, maybe some action steps to get them there. Like, what is it exactly that gave you that shift to start the business and how did it flourish? Because I'm sure it didn't happen overnight.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So without further ado, y'all, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Go for it.
Hi, everybody. Thank you again. I'm so honored to be here. And I love that you said real and raw in the beginning because that's one of my little slogans in my videos when I talk to my esthetician audience. I have a YouTube channel. And one of the things that I say is I keep it real and raw. And that's just been my journey on my social platforms is just sharing the journey and not waiting until I get to the destination to talk about it. Because it's the journey that makes it all worth it. And yeah, so I love that you said that.
We're aligned. Look at that.
We really are. It's kind of crazy how life
it is.
sometimes.
Isn't it crazy to think, not to cut you off because I know you're still introducing yourself, but like to think that we met each other during Herbalife to see where we're both at now and what we're building is crazy.
It really is. It seems like so long ago, those days. And to give context to when we met, that was when I was just getting out of, actually I was still in the very ends of college when I had started Herbalife. And I had stumbled upon it and didn't really know what I was getting into, to be honest. I was still figuring out what my path was going to be career-wise. I was kind of going back and forth with the medical field. Then I ended up majoring in public health. And really, truthfully, I went to college to just get a degree. And I'm thankful for that. But I feel like that was kind of, at least for our generation, the path that you should take is go to college, graduate, get married, get a house. Like there's all these steps that I was shown growing up. And Herbalife really kind of opened my eyes to the idea of working for yourself and getting outside of the box and personal development and reading. I read avidly as a kid. And that was the first time in years I had actually picked up a book again and read books and was trying to work on myself. And so I'm always grateful for that season, even though it didn't end up, working out.
Yeah, same here.
Actually, made it a little far with that. It was kind of fun for what it was in that season. But from there, I basically started working a 9-to-5 out of college. I was just a project manager at an insurance broker and still just searching for that passion. I was like, okay, well, it seems like the people here make good money. So, and then there were some VPs, vice presidents that were in that company that kind of would dictate their schedules, obtain clients and make good money. So I was like, okay, maybe that path. And so I started kind of checking that out. And I was like, seeing the culture of the office life and the 9-to-5. And I was just like, I can't do that. I can't just sit in front of a screen and watch my life wither away, basically.
That was me 3 years ago before I went back to school.
So that curiosity in me started coming out again that I had when I was doing Herbalife and just exploring what number one my passion was and what I enjoyed doing. And looking back now, I realize there was little sprinkle moments throughout life that led me to becoming an esthetician. I grew up a tomboy, so I never had a facial, never didn't really wear makeup or anything until my last year of high school. And I played sports and I was just not into that. But there was times here and there where randomly someone would be like, "Hey, can you do my eyebrows?" or "Hey, can you apply my eyeshadow?" And I'm like, "Why are you asking me?" And I
Wait,
wasn't even that good.
why were they asking you? Because you did it
Because
yourself?
I don't know why they would ask me, but that's
Damn.
what I'm saying. And then my aunt would ask me to give her a massage and pay me 25 cents to rub her shoulders.
Okay.
And she's like, "Actually, you're kind of good at this." And I was like, "Oh." And so anyways, realize over time that
That's the
those
universe.
moments happened throughout life that I didn't realize until later on. And so it came to a point where I was trying to get into YouTube at the time. That was when the YouTube boom was happening, and a lot of beauty influencers were exploding on YouTube and creating content. So I was like getting more into makeup myself. And I was like, I'm going to try making some videos. So I started doing a little bit of tutorials just in my bathroom with crappy lighting. And oh my God, when I look at those videos, I cringe watching them back because it was not cute. But I tried. I went for it. And the only thing though is that I just wasn't consistent. I didn't know that you had to be as consistent as those people were being on their channels. So I had tried it out. And then I was like, well, maybe I could start to do makeup on other people. Cause I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to do it on myself all the time. So I was like, maybe I'll try to do it on other people. And so that just turned into a thing. And then I had a friend at the time who was trying to become more into modeling. And I know she got an opportunity and she was like, "Hey, why don't you come and like do my makeup and a couple other girls' makeup?" And it just kind of started from there. And I started doing photo shoots for makeup for photo shoots. And then it turned into weddings and just small occasions, right? My name started getting out there. I started then branding myself. I started the company Kristen Marie and Co. because I also was employing other people or just putting other people on. I wasn't even paying them myself. I was just
Mhm.
like, "Hey, you're a hairstylist. I like you. You're cool. You do a good job. I got this wedding. Let's go do this." We did actually make up for the Grammys one time, like for a group of individuals who were attending the Grammys. So I was starting to put my name out there in LA. Yeah, and then I was like, "Hey, I like doing this." I actually randomly I'd come across what an esthetician was. I was watching a show and this girl, pretty hair, good skin, good makeup, and it said esthetician under her job title, and I was like, "What is that?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, that kind of sounds like something I would be interested in." I just wanted some more credibility to do
Mm.
what I was doing, and so then I looked into that and ended up pursuing that and got my license. And then I started doing facials for the first time in school, and I fell in love with that and just realizing that it just made sense to do skincare with makeup because everyone was asking me, "How do I prep my skin for a makeup application?" I was like, "I don't know." I didn't have terrible skin, but I didn't have good skin either. So when I started doing it, I was doing too, kind of like with the fitness journey, it was like you just start sharing your results and speaking from your own experience with using certain products and doing certain services. And yeah, basically from there on, I ended up leaving my 9 to 5. And it was not ideal, you guys. This was not, my dad was kind of freaking out that I was leaving a
I
good paying
bet.
9 to 5 with a, set path, right? And obviously I'd invested a lot of money into going to UC and everything. And so when I stepped away from that, I was definitely taking a chance. And I was living on my own at the time in Garden Grove, California, in Southern California. And I was commuting to Santa Monica, which was about a 2-hour commute to the spa that I ended up getting a job at. And it was a high-end spa, there was some good training, but it was not I was getting paid minimum wage. It was
So it
yeah.
wasn't even like
No, it was not worth. And then there
yeah.
was a period of time where there was a training, and I was commuting from 4 in the morning just to beat the traffic to get to that training, and then I was there from 9 to 3, drove in traffic going back to Orange County. So there was a hustle. It was not an ideal path, but I just loved what I did, and I knew I wanted to see where this could go. And then
Question.
yeah.
So you were working this, I'm just going to say 9 to 5. But
Mhm.
at the same time, you're also doing your hustle on the side, the
Yes.
esthetician stuff.
Yes.
And were you seeing money coming in from the side hustle to where you're like,
Yeah.
"You know what? I gotta take a chance."
Yes. But when I started the esthetician job, I did walk away from the 9 to 5 completely.
That must have been that was
So I was doing makeup. I was also working at a nightclub in West Hollywood at the time, just a couple of times a week, making tip money was paying my gas at that point. And I would say that I was struggling.
yeah, it's
I was
alright.
struggling, and
They gotta
then
hear that because people think that they just see the results. They see you're
yeah,
doing all this, you're traveling, you're speaking, you're doing trainings and retreats, but they don't see the
yeah,
what you struggled with
yeah.
in the beginning, and
And
that's
this was a
important.
long time ago. The results didn't come right away. It took a long time to see the fruits. Even now, it's like I'm still doing the work behind the scenes and still would love to see more, but it's still gonna take time. You know, you
Yeah.
can't rush greatness, and
You can't rush
yeah, you
greatness,
can't rush
y'all.
greatness, and I have much bigger plans coming. But basically, after I started working at the spa for a couple months, I got pregnant with my son, and that prompted me to move back to the Bay. So then I ended up going back to the Bay and transferring. Actually, thankfully, that spa had a location in San Francisco. So I transferred over there and worked there for a few months, had my son, came back, was working for like a month, and the pandemic hit. And I was like, great. So the pandemic
Damn.
hit, and I was living with my grandmother at the time. And he was, I want to say he was like 6 or 7 months old at the time. And I honestly used that as an opportunity to have an extended maternity leave with him. And it then also was time for me to just sit in my head and thoughts and be like, where am I going with this? I was wondering how I was going to pay bills that month. And weirdly enough, the pandemic happened right then and there. So then I was able to get on unemployment and pay bills. But I was like, I can't do this forever. And I don't think working at the spa is going to be enough to sustain myself and my son. I mean, you start seeing the bills come in with the child right away. And so I was like, what am I going to do? And then I picked up a book called You're a Badass at Making Money. And I read that again. I had read it back in the personal development days, and I loved that book. There's two of them, You're a Badass and You're a Badass at Making Money. So I
Ooh.
reread the You're a Badass at Making Money. And yeah, that book really put a fire in me to just see what could happen. And I just in the middle of the night was looking on Craigslist and found my little studio, and it was very low risk. Like, it was still risky, but it was low risk because they were also looking to fill it up because of the pandemic. The person that was in there had left, abruptly, and they were just trying to get someone in there. And it was a room, feel like kind of this. My studio is not that big, and I'm still there actually to this day. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself 6 months to see what could happen and just put my all into it. And I propped up the camera that day one and filmed with no good lighting. This is like way fancy. I don't even have this now. I still just
It
film
looks
with what I
really
have,
nice.
but I just propped up the camera, had my just little ring light and a Canon. I don't even know what kind,
Just
a
some
little
janky one
rinky
you had, huh?
dinky Canon at the time. And I just started documenting. I was like, I love interior transformation shows. I'm going to just document this for myself. And I want to see the process of this room coming together because I know it's going to be sick. And I showed that final room tour video, and that's what got my channel recognized more and more. And I was like, okay, this is working. I was posting consistently
Where were you posting mostly?
on
Instagram or
YouTube
YouTube?
and
Okay.
Instagram. Yeah. But Instagram wasn't as like, I don't know how to say it. You couldn't
The
make as much
algorithm.
money on Instagram at
Mm,
that time. YouTube was kind of in my head. I'm going to get passive income doing this. So I
I'm
was
curious.
putting a little more effort into the YouTube channel. But I was using Instagram to funnel people to YouTube. Yeah, like
Okay,
doing the
smart.
little trailers and sneak previews and things like that.
Were you getting organically audience from YouTube? Like, as you were
Oh, yeah.
posting, like, you were getting just random people from YouTube? Because 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
curious how
As
that
other
works.
estheticians, yeah, that were
Mm.
wanting to see other
Yeah,
room
your
inspo.
niche.
Yeah, my
Yeah, yeah,
niche.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
really just stuck with that niche, and it just really kind of took off from there, and I just stuck with it ever since. So that's kind of the back. I know that was kind of a long
No,
introduction to
I mean,
myself.
Keep
That's where
going.
I'm at now. So that was 5 years ago. We just hit our 5-year anniversary on August 1st. Yeah, and
Congratulations.
now I have acquired another studio next to me, the other office. There was a guy working in there and he dipped out and I took over that office. And at first it was just an office like waiting area. And then I was like, okay, I think it's time. I was building a really big wait list for my services. And I was like, I think it's time to I'm watching all these dollar bills walk away. And I thought it was time to hire someone. And then Kristen, her name's Kristen too, came along and she's been with me for 3 years now.
That's
We've
dope.
just been kicking ass together.
I've
So,
been seeing y'all. You guys have
mhm.
been traveling together. You've been
Yeah.
going to a bunch of trainings.
Yeah, it's been cool.
That's so fucking dope. It's just crazy to me how like you read that book. I need that book.
Yeah,
You got to remind me. And we'll let you guys know what book it is because maybe it'll change your life too, clearly, of course.
definitely. The You're a Badass at Making Money. That's what it's
You're a
called.
badass and you're a badass at making money.
Yep.
But the one you reread was You're a badass at making money,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Wow. So you were going through a lot. I mean, you had just given birth,
Yeah.
and you were trying to figure out the pandemic happened and you took a chance on starting your business.
Yeah, that was not the ideal time. So if you're waiting for the ideal time to do anything, it's actually probably most likely during a time that it doesn't make sense. And that your mind and everybody around you is telling you, like my grandma was telling me, I don't think you should do this. And my dad and
Everyone was against
everybody
it,
was like, because they're looking out for you. And you
of
have to realize
course.
it's not because for the most part people are hating or anything or they don't want to see you succeed. They just want you to be okay and they want you to not fail.
That's a
And
good
it's like, well, duh, of course I don't want to fail either. But failure sometimes is necessary. I don't feel like I've ever full on flopped failed. Yeah, I've tried Herbalife. Like I tried it out, it just wasn't for me, but it was lessons learned along the way and it served a purpose. Everything always serves a purpose. So even if it didn't work out, I still would have been grateful for having to go through what I was going through.
That is a mentality to have. I feel like a lot of people out there should take on that mentality because we look at failure as like, "Oh, I don't want to fail. I don't ever want to
Mhm.
fail." But it's like you want to, you should
Yeah,
fail because then you know that's not for you. Or maybe it
exactly.
is and you keep trying until you
Yeah,
get it, right?
that
Um,
persistence
mhm.
and saying there is no plan B. This is what I want to do. And that's the kind of fire I had in me at the time. And that fire came from a hurtful and painful place because I was a new single mother. Yeah, I had a child that I wasn't ready to have. And to
Yeah.
keep it simple, like he wasn't supposed to be here. It's a miracle that he's here and he's my little angel and he's my motivation. For those of you who don't know, my son also does have special needs and he just got diagnosed earlier this year with autism. And so that's been a journey in itself. But what I love about him, what I tell everybody that he reminds me is just he's not worried about tomorrow and he's not worried about what happened yesterday. He's so in the moment. And I feel like that's a gift. Like he has a
Hell
gift. He's
yeah.
not, like these kids are not weird or behind. They're just growing at their own pace and they just have a different way of thinking of things. And I just admire and love that he's just so in the moment. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's just a love bug. I mean, he has his moments, of course. He's a boy
Mhm.
and just wild, has a ton of energy, but he's so in the moment. And it just reminds me to just enjoy the present and stop worrying about what's happening tomorrow and what I said. I should have said it different. Yeah,
I
just
no,
you're tripping about things you can't control, and all you can control is yourself and the current moment right now.
I love that. I feel like he's definitely far ahead from all of us. And I like to say I don't like to call them special needs either because
Yeah,
I really feel like they're gifted and
they are.
really, really smarter than us. Yeah, and just to be able to live in the present moment, like, that's what I'm trying to do now,
Hmm.
Like, that's how we should be living every day. Feel like we failed to do that, so he's, like, way far ahead of us. But, I can't imagine how challenging that is for you too as a single mom to have to, work with that. So but yeah, we won't go into that unless you want to, on how you've been able to manage being a single mom, managing a business, managing your
Yeah.
personal life.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been tough. It obviously has its blessings, and it continues to fuel me to continue what I'm doing. Because I think before I had a child, it was like, oh, I'm just living for myself, and I can take my time and dee 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 dee. And now that I have a human being relying on me, it's put a different hustle in me. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, on a day to day, there's good days, there's bad days, and I think the way that I try to navigate that is just making time for me time. And I've realized as I've gotten older, I'm in my 30s now, that I don't need to always be around a bunch of people. And I don't get energized by being around a bunch of people. I get energized by having time with myself. And everyone's different. You have to figure that out for yourself. And the words introvert and extrovert are, just a label for it. But I feel like I technically, I guess, am introverted and I recharge by myself. So I've had to make intentional time for that and just be vocal about needing that help with my family that is around and saying, hey, like, even if it's just for a couple hours, can I just drop them by and just go and get my nails done? Or me and my employee, we do facials on each other. And I have a lady that does, massage and, I'm all into that, like the self care.
Yeah.
I like to always take the time to get myself ready in the morning. So I have a really great morning routine and a night routine so that I
Ooh.
have my time for myself before little monster wakes up.
Tell us more about that because I'm very big on self-care and I'm very big on pouring into yourself
Yes.
before you pour into others, especially when you work either a job or you have a business where it's people-centered.
Yes.
You have to
Yeah.
pour into yourself. I get
Because you
it.
can't give from an empty cup.
Yes, and I get it, like, there's a lot of moms that do give from empty cups, but at what expense?
Hmm.
So I wanna, like, put out there more that we have to prioritize ourselves, so
Yeah. I just did a couple of videos about burnout, and you will burn yourself out doing that if you don't make the time and you're not intentional with it. And then your kids like will feel that. My son is totally energy. I don't even know how
like
to. Yeah,
he,
he
feels
can
the
just
energy.
tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a period of time where I was just checked out when I'd get home. And even yeah, like I said, I'm not perfect at it now, but I'm more aware of it now.
Mhm.
And I'm in therapy regularly. I go once a week
Shout out to
online.
therapy. Mhm.
So there's support out there, and I don't want anyone who's a single mom watching this to feel like they're alone and they can't reach out for help. Like that's this first step is just recognizing that you're carrying a lot of weight and you need to reach out and have time for yourself and get help from others.
Yeah, don't be scared to reach out to your family and friends. I know sometimes even we're like, we don't wanna burden others?
Yeah.
I get that. I get that so much, but if you are struggling, reach out to a family, friends, somebody you trust in,
Yeah.
and just you never know how they might respond, and there's a lot of community that wanna help out. I'm very big on women empowerment, very
Yes.
big. And that's why I've been on this mission of sobriety, on this
Love that.
mission of just pouring into me and just showing that on Instagram or my social media pages.
Yeah.
Because I want more women to like start pointing into themselves, put
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
first.
And I will say I've done other things to try to escape, like partying and drinking and doing all of that. I've had my seasons of that and it never does anything in the end. Like maybe in the moment, whenever I've then switched that around and poured into myself and had time with myself and spent time in nature and journaled and meditated and do my little ritual in the morning and at night. Like you got to make it a ritual. You got to make it enjoyable. And that's what I preach to my audience and my clients as well. Like don't just slap on your skincare and say, "Okay, I'm tired. I'm just going to put it on and just go to bed." Like make it a ritual. Put on some candles, put on a silk robe, get
Hey,
a
I
cute
love that.
headband.
Exercise
Yeah, like
it.
romanticize your time with yourself. Fall in
Hell
love with
yes.
yourself. And when you're putting on your products, just thinking about what it's doing for your skin and that you're yeah, like it's these micro habits too that make a difference later on. You're not going to see it right now, but the people who are taking care of themselves and their skin and their fitness and their health and their pouring into their businesses. Like this is just one episode of everything you're going to be pouring into this, and it's every step toward whatever. I don't believe in an end goal.
Yeah,
I've changed my mind about what goals really are. So there's a book called Atomic Habits.
I've
You
heard of
ever
it. I haven't read
You
it, but I
gotta
heard of it.
read it.
Okay, damn, we're gonna have a list of books I gotta read,
Yeah,
y'all.
so Atomic Habits really changed my perspective on like goals and again, just focusing more on the journey and it not being like, I gotta get here and then I'll be satisfied. Cause honestly, you're never gonna be satisfied with just reaching whatever, if it's 6 figures or whatever your goal is, you have to fall in love with the process. So, anyways, my point being is that you have to fall in love with your daily routine, and then that will help you to not feel like you need to escape your life. And I've felt that in different seasons where I'm like, when I'm partying or even traveling, even though traveling is a positive thing and I love traveling and going eating different places and whatnot. I have a TikTok where I'm like starting to build that kind of content, and
You're probably
that's
gonna
great.
pop up on my FYP watch.
Probably. The phones are
I
always
know, they're
listening.
just
But when you're always doing it to just escape because you want to just get away and it's in a kind of an unhealthy amount, and I feel like, well, you'll know if
yeah.
it's too much or not. But then you come back and you're like, oh, back to reality. Like, I wanted to change that. I don't want to come back and be like, oh, reality again. I want to love my reality. And I promise you, you will see incredible things happen when you start to fall in love with your reality. And
Thank
then
you.
the traveling and all that will become your reality. That's what's happening. I swear to God, all these trips that we've gone on this year, besides I just went to Nashville with some girlfriends for a bachelorette.
Okay.
And that was the only like fun kind of trip I invested in myself, but all the other trips were paid for.
Damn.
So
She gotta like that.
But again, all of this has manifested over the past, I believe, like 10 years of just working on my mindset, on myself, and pouring into others.
So what I'm getting from it, and this is what I preach, is like the mindset. I'm wearing Invisalign, so I sound like I have a list. The mindset shift and pouring into yourself. Those are the two things I went into this year with. I was like, I need to change my routine because I know what I want to achieve, but I'm not getting it. And there's a reason why, because there's something I'm not doing within my daily routines. And so I was like, all right, we're locking in gym, school, work, me time, meditation, things that are for my mental, spiritual. And the moment I changed my habits and removed drinking, everything started to shift. I started to be more consistent in my content. I started being consistent towards myself. I lost weight. My skin started glowing. I started attracting a bunch of people from the community. Like a lot of things have been happening in the most positive way. And I truly feel like it's a testimony. And I'm like, fuck, I'm actually going to be an example. Like I'm showcasing real time what it takes to become more, to do more.
Yeah.
So everything you're saying is like, it aligns exactly with what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to showcase. And I'm glad that you're talking about this. It's that mindset shift. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, it really is.
Tell us more about that.
Well, I'm
How
just
did you
warning
break
you
your
guys
habit?
too that when you start to do this for yourselves, you're going to maybe upset some people. And so be prepared that true intentions and genuine connections will reveal themselves. And that might be difficult too. It could be with a partner, it could be with a friend, it could be with family. And so that you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to? And you don't necessarily need to cut them off completely unless it calls for that. But it's just asking yourself how much time. Like I look at my time and energy as like a bank now. Where am I spending that? Because I have a limited supply until I can again like fill that up. Where does it belong and who also then is like watering me and who can I water back and who wants to be watered? Because sometimes our friends or family are in their own journeys and you have to just like love them from afar. And it's like, no hate. I never wish negative on anybody. And I know I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes and I've had my own seasons. You know, there's people that have known me in different seasons and maybe I was going through something and again, it's just all self awareness. And even now, it's like, I'm still not going to be perfect, but I definitely realize that the people you spend the most time with are going to definitely heavily affect your journey too. And that's why
100%.
I've been trying to create more opportunities for me to, and honestly, a lot of like the retreats and all that, it's like, that's for me too. Like, I want to find other women, entrepreneurs, a partner that I can grow with, I can evolve with, and have these types of conversations with, that it's not gonna upset anybody or make anyone feel like they're in competition or it's like jealousy. You know? I want it to
I
be all positive,
100%.
all like we're all lifting each other up. Those are my people, because that's just always how the type of person I've tried to be for others. I can't always be the one who's like picking everyone up. Like I need to be picked up too. So just that's been a big part of the journey too, is just evaluating who you're spending time with.
I love that so much because I remember back in the days, this was something that I learned in Herbalife too, was like, you gotta surround yourself with people that are like-minded like you, and I
Yeah.
remember I was always so like, "No, I don't have to." Like, if they're doing this, I'm not that easily
Yes,
influenced, and I was like,
yes.
"No, I'm okay."
Mhm.
But now, the older I'm getting, the more wiser I'm becoming, the more I'm realizing, actually, your circle of influence influences you a
It
lot
does.
without you really realizing it,
Yeah.
and
It's proven. It's like the people you spend time with, you start to talk like them, you start to think like them. And the analogy I always like to think of is when you put a moldy orange in a basket of fruit, it's gonna spread.
Mm,
There's no you don't you can't take the
yeah.
mold away.
No,
It's gonna
that's
spread
you're
to the good
right.
oranges. So, again, it could be just limited association or it could be a complete, this we're just not aligned anymore.
And I think also that's one of the hardest things for people, like, them realizing when they do start going after their dreams, they're gonna lose people in their life, and it's hard. They don't wanna lose those people because they've known them for years.
Yeah, there's history,
Um,
there's a connection. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why.
but that definitely shouldn't be the reason why you don't do it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, that you have one life to live only, live it to the best, the fullest, the happiest, the healthiest, and surround yourself with people that pour into you the same way you pour into them. Like, I got to that point too, like, I pour into everyone that's in my life. I'm always gonna have your back. You need me, I got you.
I
But
feel that you're that type of
oh,
person. I
thank
like that.
you.
Yeah.
That is oh,
We need more people like that in the
we
world.
do, and that's why I'm just like, I'm the type of person I'm like, people just need one person to believe in them. One person to pour into them. People walk around angry. They're carrying shit all day, and who knows? You could be that person that changes your life. Maybe you smile at them, and they're like, "Wow, someone's nice to me." That's the type of person I wanna be.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to uplift humanity.
Yeah. That's why I shifted to, I stopped doing makeup. Go back to like my story. It's like I
Mhm.
stopped doing makeup and I focused on the skincare because I was like, I like this feeling and energy more. Like I was just with someone yesterday who was telling me about, the different chapters she's entering now, like getting married and all of that. And I love that I was able to be there to listen and then pour into her and make her feel good. And she, everyone leaves just with, this big smile on their face. And I love that
And I'm sure that's,
reaction.
like, a part of why your business is so successful too, is, like, not only are you doing facials, but you're really pouring into your clients. You really care, you're genuine, and people feed off that energy. And that's what people want. We
Hmm.
just wanna be seen, feel validated, feel loved. So that's amazing that, you can provide that, and I know you're probably just like a therapist.
Yeah, no,
You're pretty
yeah.
much
I
like a therapist
should have
as
just gotten my therapy license.
that actually wouldn't be a bad
No,
business.
it wouldn't
Imagine.
be.
I actually have a friend who, went to Spain, and he said that there's a barber shop for men
Mm,
that are licensed barbers, but they're also licensed therapists, and the guys go in there, and they have, like, their own space where they can, like, do
that's
therapy and
sick.
get cut. I
I like
was
that.
like, "Huh, don't
Yeah.
take that idea because I might
She might
do
come
it."
after you.
No, but I think that's so cool, and, like, hairstylists, estheticians,
Mm.
people that wax, you
Those
guys
are
all oh,
estheticians
are
too.
they
And, well,
considered?
cosmetologists and
Okay,
wax too.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that because 'cause I'm not
got
educated
you.
on all that. So I'm okay being corrected.
But people, like, specialize. Yeah. So you're
You
right,
guys
it's
are all
not
doing
incorrect.
the tough work because 'cause we're all yapping at you, we're venting, you guys know our life.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know about when people are pregnant before everyone else. I know the tea about relationships. I know everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean,
I'm a good secret keeper.
for me as a therapist, I'm also getting all the tea too, but I have
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
confidentiality, so I can't say anything. It goes in one ear and out the
Yeah.
other. But I'm excited to do the work.
And this is news to me, you guys. I haven't seen you in years,
about
and
me being a therapist?
I was like so
'Cause it's
pleasantly shocked that you were gonna pursue that. I love that though.
Yeah, it's crazy because when we were doing Herbalife, I was pursuing being a cop. I don't know if
Right.
you remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got accepted. It was for OPD.
Okay.
But I have vision problems. I have something called
Oh,
keratoconus, for those that don't know.
okay.
And I wear hard contacts. I can see very well, but
Yeah.
in order to become a cop, if you wear contacts, one of your eyes has to be 20/20. I don't know. It was like this whole thing. So I signed the contract. I was going to start 2 weeks before the academy was going to start. They called me and disqualified me off my vision.
Oh
And
no.
so it was just like this whole weird whirlwind of depression I went through.
Yeah, because you were so set on that path.
But the goal was always the same.
Yeah.
It was to work with the community, to be able to be that pillar for folks that are going through it, and to be that person to be like, hey, I still believe in you. You're not alone. You can still get out of this. You can still take another path. That was my mentality.
Yeah.
So it's funny how everything kind of just works out. And
Yeah, you have to trust everything is working for your highest good. If you believe the opposite, then that's what'll happen.
yeah.
But if you believe in that everything is happening for your highest good and you're always just trying to improve, then that's the path you're gonna. There's no staying neutral. You're either getting worse every day or you're getting better.
So
There's
you
no
believe
staying
in
stagnant.
you create your own reality,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Same here. Going into like mindset shift. How do you deal with setbacks, criticisms, or moments of self-doubt?
Like from other people or just
It could be
myself.
yourself, other people. Like,
Yeah.
how do you work through that? Because I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are also dealing with that as they're starting up or
Mhm.
as they're doing it, and they have moments of self-doubt. How do you
Yeah.
work through that?
Well, to address the negative, I think you said negative comments
Mhm.
or
The
criticism.
criticism on social
Yeah. Oh,
media,
yeah. That
that's
was what
huge.
held me back for the longest time from doing anything online because I was just so scared of what people would say or because people could be kind of mean online.
People
And I'm
online are
sensitive. I'm a
brutal.
Pisces. I'm a
You're a
little
Pisces?
sensitive. Yeah.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, I love Sag.
Pisces are cool too, though.
We can be a little emotional, but we're
Yeah.
big dreamers and very, spiritual, intuitive, and all of that. But yeah, I do take criticism to heart.
So how did
Yeah,
you work?
you just have to not internalize things and not take it personal. Because again, you don't know where those people are at in their journey and if they're unhealed or healed or where they're coming from. And I always try to take, I had heard, I listen to a lot of podcasts and read books. That's not obvious by now, but
Mhm.
it's more of like looking at the message and not shooting the messenger. Even if they didn't say it very nicely. I always try to take something from what anyone is saying that's negative. Actually, the first comment I ever got on a video was like a negative comment. And that was like, but that's the
Heartbreaking.
universe testing you
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, how bad do you want this? And I will say a majority of the support is positive, and if that's what your focus is on is the positivity, you'll get more of that. But if you put more energy toward the negativity, you're gonna get more negativity. But
100%.
it happens here and there. I mean, I just ended up blocking them
How do you
if it gets out of hand.
how do I say this? Because I feel like it's easy to be like, "Oh, just ignore it," right? But there had to have been something you did that really made you not take things personal. For instance, for me, I definitely feel like it was the personal development during the Herbalife days, the books that we read,
Yeah.
or the 4 agreements. One of them is don't take things personal.
Okay. It's been a while since I read that one, but I did read that one.
Yeah, that's like my go-to for sure. And that was the one agreement I stick with because, like I said earlier, people walk around with baggage, their
Mhm.
garbage, and they're just looking for someone to throw their garbage on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the way I take things when people come at me upset or like something
Mhm.
negative. I'm
Yeah.
like, just like, it has nothing to do with me, girl.
Yeah.
It got everything to do with you. Let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. What's going on? So I'm curious if it's kind of like the same thing for you. Do you feel like the personal development that you did, the books that you read, the podcasts you listened to, like, did that help you in being able to not like take the negativity to heart?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, just withdrawing a lesson from whatever is being said. Because for some reason they're feeling a certain type of way. And maybe what they're saying, again, is just a little nudge for you to make a shift or switch it up or whatever.
And people mean well, or they try to, but
Yeah,
sometimes
or
they just
again,
don't
they're
know
just
how.
seeing a version of you online. And like you were saying earlier, you only see the accomplishments and the glam and the traveling and all of that. But who really actually posts the tough moments? I personally think it's a little cringe when
To
you
post.
post crying and stuff. Like, I'm not ever gonna do that.
I've done
That's your journey.
it. But the reason why I
And
don't take it
I don't-
personal at all.
And
Trust
if
me.
anyone else wants to do it, like I'm just not gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And I've had to work on that though too, because I've held in my emotions
Why
too
do you
much
think it's
too
cringe
growing
though?
up.
I'm curious.
Because I'm like,
You think people are asking for attention?
not necessarily attention. I would say like
Let's
that's a
unpack
vulnerable
this.
moment for you. Why do you have to share it? Like
Uh-huh.
it's a moment for yourself to like let it out. But then again, I know there's times where it calls to show emotion, and I definitely have shed a tear here and there in a video.
One
But
tear.
the one tear that saved Patrick and SpongeBob in the SpongeBob movie. No, yeah, I don't, and I know that that's a me thing too, because I just don't show. I just said it earlier. I'm an
You're-
emotional person,
But you also
but I
don't
do
show
it.
it.
I don't. Yeah, that's been a problem that
Ah.
I've been trying to work through in therapy, and I don't know if I'll ever get comfortable enough to do that online. Really,
Yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
talking about full on crying.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
You
I
know,
didn't do
there's
full-on
a
crying.
level that I think
you'll know what to
yeah.
share. Like, for
Mhm.
instance, like what I shared was more of like I had a moment where I felt God. It was like meditating,
that's
and
totally
I just
different.
felt
Yeah,
a presence, and
yeah,
I just felt in so much gratitude that I started crying, and I
yeah,
felt called to share.
yeah.
And so I shared like
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
But I'm
no.
not like you
No.
guys, it broke my heart. No, that's all
But it's okay.
private.
If that's your journey, that's your journey. I'm just saying, just for me. But no, that's a totally different angle of like you just were led to do that. If God is leading you to share a certain thing or take a certain step, then go for it.
This
Don't
podcast took
ignore.
a twisted
So-
turn.
She's about to come after me.
No.
The fire sign
I
is about to
promise
come
you,
after
I
the water
promise you,
sign.
I don't take anything personal at all. I'm very good at that. I mean, I'm still human though, right? And I'll feel some type of way, but
Yeah.
I don't think certain things that people say are about me,
No, yeah.
So
Again, just not taking it personal. Back to your question.
back
It's
to the
like,
4
just
agreements,
don't take
y'all.
it
Read the book
personal.
too.
Yeah.
At least I got one book recommendation. You got 2
Yeah.
on me.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
All right, let's go into another question. So you now mentor other estheticians. What do you feel is the biggest mindset shift? Mindset shift they need to make to succeed. I feel like we've
Ooh.
kind of gone into this, but
Yeah.
for those that that you mentor and they're probably listening in, what do you want to let them know? What mindset shift do they need?
Such a loaded question.
It is. But
There's
feel
so
free.
much that
It's like you got
goes into that.
Or
I'm
maybe
just
one
thinking
thing.
back to my own moment where I decided to go for it. Actually, that phrase "go for it" came from my grandfather, who I have tattooed right here. He passed away about 20 years ago now, but he just was, I remember, just a really motivating person and very kind. And some reason, yeah, a phrase that always stuck with me was "go for it." And it's just about pushing past those, self-doubt thoughts and voices that are really honestly your brain just trying to keep you safe. I've learned a lot about that type of stuff again through podcasts and just reading books about how your mentality. I think the phrase mind over matter is kind of incorrect, because I think your mind actually is a big hurdle sometimes to overcome. And your thoughts that happen when you're about to make major moves will be thoughts of, should I do this? I still have those moments too. Like, thankfully, I have Kristen, who's in my corner, who knows my heart and my vision and everything that I want to do. And I have my moments with her. I'm like, should I do this? And like when I got up to teach at a conference a couple months ago, and it was not on a topic that I was confident with at all. And I had to force myself to learn that topic and to get up there and just hopefully I obviously
Figure
prayed
it
before
out.
and was just like, God, just speak through me and let me just speak on what I know. And it actually ended up going really well. But the thoughts and all of that leading up to that, even my body, I was getting headaches. I was having some like eye thing going on. Like my body was trying to keep me from doing.
You almost didn't do it, huh? Sometimes
My
you wanna
brain was
quit.
literally thinking, what excuse could I say that I don't feel good? Can you get someone else to do it? Like, you just start hearing those thoughts of like, how can I avoid this? Because your brain is designed to keep you safe and comfortable. And if you want to get to that next frequency or that next version of yourself, you have to start thinking like that version of yourself. And I just had this conversation this morning with another esthetician that I've gotten close with, who's also trying to elevate and do all these things. And I told her, I was like, because she's like, how do you have the discipline to be able to do that or to resist calling that person or doing
Mm,
this or doing that? I'm like, I just think to myself, what would my higher self do? What
mm.
would my higher self look like? What are their habits? What are their conversations like? How much money are they making? What are they wearing? And if it doesn't align with that 2.0 version of myself, then I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it. Of course, I have my weak moments. We're human.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I ask that question and it usually keeps me grounded. And you just have to be grounded in your purpose and in whatever goal it is that you're trying to achieve. So I also have a video on my channel about how to set goals for yourself. And as long as that vision is clear, then the habits that need to be done or should be quote unquote easy to make because that's where you're headed. And if you know there's a blueprint, I mean, it's so easy these days. Whatever goal it is that you have, you can Google it and be like, how do I do this? You can ask ChatGPT.
Say,
Make
"Chat,"
a daily routine for me and tasks I need to complete to achieve X, Y, and Z
and it'll
or to
literally
be this certain person. And it'll give you a whole plan. Like ChatGPT is great, obviously to vent to, but use it for higher things that can really help you out. And so, because sometimes I get really overwhelmed with the content I need to post and the to dos I have, and so I tell ChatGPT, okay, I need to accomplish these things this week. Can you just break it down for me every day of what I need to do? And it gives me a nice little plan, and it just makes me feel. And I have a planner too, so I'm like writing in my planner. I have a planner that breaks down my days hourly so that I can really see how my day is going to break down and then my top 3 to-dos for that day.
that's my next step. I need to have it break down hourly too.
Yeah.
I feel like I do with my work schedule, and I do throw in some of my personal in there, but I think the way you're doing it's like,
Yeah, there's a whole crazy method that I
yeah,
have. I'm a Virgo moon, so it's like just in my DNA to be really weirdly organized,
I'm
and
Virgo
I like
rising.
routines and oh, really?
Yeah,
I
I don't
like
know if
that.
that means anything.
It's just like your outward, like like what people perceive you as.
Ah,
Yeah.
but I'm full on Sag, moon Sag,
Sun.
sun,
Yeah.
yeah, but
So anyways, back to your question
yeah.
about like what mindset shift. But yeah, it's just pushing past those doubts and just going for it and not being afraid to mess up and just being willing to learn and grow and pour into yourself, like feeding your mind too on a regular basis, like things other than, I mean, it's okay here and there to listen to, trap music and all of that,
Sometimes it's
I got to do
all
that sometimes. There's different occasions for different type of music, but I feel like if a majority of what you're listening to is that and it's not building you up, and I believe frequency, everything has a frequency, and there's certain music that doesn't uplift your frequency.
no,
And
I agree.
so when I need to just have something that's going to uplift me, I either put on like a podcast or an audiobook or actual frequency music that elevates, your mood and your mindset and just puts you in that headspace.
I really like that a lot. I actually had a spiritual coach that I had on the podcast a couple episodes back where she talks about sound and how like the sound all around us in the world plays a big role in our thinking. And I
Mhm.
was like, damn, I didn't really understand or know that, but that makes a lot of sense. So the music you listen to does play a big role in the way you think. And
Yeah.
it's okay, sometimes play your
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah, of
get in the
course.
mood if you need to go to the gym or whatever. But it's always good to listen to that higher frequency
Mhm.
kind of music.
Yeah.
I listen to it too, especially when I'm studying or I need
Yeah.
to be like
Yeah. When you're
honest.
sleeping too.
Usually listen
Subliminals, I don't know if you've heard about
I
what
have heard
subliminals are.
about
But you gotta be mindful of where you're getting those subliminals, because again, you don't know what's being said because you can't hear it technically, because it's on a frequency that you can't your subconscious is hearing the affirmations that are being said in the subliminals. So get it from a good source.
Where do you get yours?
I've been following a TikToker. Her name is Alexi Gigi, and she does workbooks, meditations. She has a subliminal library that I downloaded, and I trust her. I don't know, just from what she posts, and I've been following her for a while. I really trust
I mean,
her.
clearly it's working, so we're gonna
Yeah,
need
so
that.
I put those on, when I'm sleeping or I'm just working, again, because you're subconsciously hearing those affirmations. And then another podcast I've been really loving for affirmations that I just put on when I'm getting ready is Habits of a Goddess.
Ooh, Habits of a Goddess.
Of a
I'm gonna write that
Goddess.
down.
Yeah, her name is Jasmine Roscoe, and she's in Florida, I believe. But yeah, she's been a good one to put on just when I need something
Habits
in the background while I'm
of
getting ready.
Goddess. I'm gonna look
And
that up.
Alexi Gigi.
And Alexi Gigi.
Mhm. She's really more into the astrology of things.
I love
Jasmine should
astrology
talk a
stuff.
little bit about astrology, but not as much as Alexi Gigi.
Like both of I love following people that are into astrology or anything related to
Yeah,
your
and that's
higher
been a
self.
kind of a newer thing for me. I won't say that I always was as invested in that as when I started the business.
Mhm.
It was more, again, just like the audiobooks and personal development and whatnot. And I had always liked things about zodiacs and all of that, but it's probably maybe more so within the last year and a half that I've gotten more into astrology and meditation and things, frequency and all of that kind of stuff.
Now that you've gotten more into it, do you feel a shift?
For sure. There's like a different level of thinking that I've had that I didn't even have like back then. So I think that's why more has unlocked because I've shifted in a
I
way. Yeah.
am on that same frequency as you. And like I was
We're looking at each other
I
like
know we get it.
into each
Because
other's eyes like
we're looking into each other's soul. No, and I'm saying this because like I mentioned earlier, like how did you find this podcast studio? And I was like, well, I manifested it.
Yeah.
I had put my ideas out there. I've been on that frequency and it just fell on my lap. So I truly believe in the power of manifestation, the
Mhm.
power in your frequency. You attract what you put out. And that's something we learned in Herbalife too. I don't know if you ever watched or read the book The Secret. Or is it The
Yes.
Secret? Yeah.
Yes.
That was the
I've
first
listened
thing.
to all of her books.
You have.
The Power, The Magic,
I'm gonna have to
all of them.
listen to all of
They're
those.
really good.
But The Secret was the one that was like did it for me. And I was like, wow. So what I put out is what I get.
Yep.
I got to be a little more positive so I can have a little more positive things
Mhm.
come to me. But back
Mhm.
then I was in my 20s, like
Yeah.
I was trying and it was working, but at the same time I was still doing my shit. Now that I'm older and I'm practicing it, like everything in my life is shifting from the people that I'm meeting, the relationships I'm building. And it's crazy how much it's pushed me to see like I don't want to be in certain environments anymore. And what I mean when I say that, it's like partying. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not in that mindset anymore.
Mm.
I'm down to like go grab coffee or like they're doing these things now where they're doing like R&B and coffee.
Oh,
Like
that's
that's
cool.
pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
I'm down for that, but I just don't care about partying. I
Yeah.
want to be present, want to be happy. I want to put
Mhm.
good out and continue receiving that and
Yeah.
build my brand and build what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
I love that you say that because I feel like for those that are starting their esthetician business or any kind of business, that mindset shift, that spirituality, locking in, so important.
Definitely.
Super.
Yeah. And there's seasons for grinding, and then you might reach a season where and this again with getting more into astrology and all the transits that happen with the moon and the planets and all of that.
Retrograde and all that.
Yeah, like there's just different, and sometimes you just can't even explain why you're feeling a certain way. And every time then I look into it, I'm like, on point. I wasn't even trying to think about it. And then I look at it, I'm like, that makes sense. Like right now we're going through a lot. So I don't know if you've been feeling like more emotional lately or anything,
I'm
but
very emotional to
yeah.
begin with. I'm an empath, so I
Yeah.
feel very deeply. But yeah, when Mercury's in retrograde or
Oh
however you
yeah,
call it,
that
like
is
yeah.
real. And so being more aware of what's going on with the energies and all of that, it just helps you move in a certain way. And I'm more intentional during those times where it's like, oh, an ex might come back and try to text you. What are you going to do?
Dead.
You know, no, I'm serious. So
No,
it's
but
like,
yeah.
that's a moment where you're like, okay, I need to prepare myself. If someone does reach out, I need to be and know what to do,
Yeah. This
basically.
is crazy, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this on here, but when I'm going through something in life, it's so crazy how my FYP, like the tarot card readers would pop up on there, but it's literally about what's happening with my life. And I'm like, all right, I think I manifested this a little too hard. Like the
Yeah.
universe is really paying attention.
But in a weird way, when you think about like the algorithm of social media, that's exactly related to how you attract then manifestation, all of that, how that works too. So if you think about the algorithm, like the reason why certain things pop up on your feed is because you're taking the time to watch it or interact with it, or you're sending it to someone, then your feed starts picking up on what it is that you're interested in. And so it's the same thing in life and manifesting, and what opportunities are coming your way and what kind of people you're attracting. It's the same thing. Like you have an algorithm and frequency in your life. Where are you putting your energy? Where are you investing your time and focusing on mentally and physically and all those things? And you start to see those things start popping up more. And so if you want better, then what do you need to do? You need to start focusing on the habits and choices and mindset of what's going to get you there.
Clock it.
Yeah.
Remember that, y'all. That's important.
And I even had to go through a social media kind of cleanse too. Sorry if, I may have randomly unfollowed anyone or, it's just,
I hear you.
you have to cleanse your feed sometimes. Like I was following, celebrity gossip pages and all of that before I unfollowed all of those. And anytime I'm watching a video now, I'm like, do I want this to keep popping up in my feed? And then if not, I just, keep scrolling.
That's good. No, that you have to, honestly.
Yeah, because we get fed a lot of, it's the generation that we're in now. I mean, thankfully, I grew up in the 90s and I was kind of part of, I think you too, right? I don't even know how old you are.
89.
Okay. Yeah. So grew up in the 90s. I was born in 92.
Oh, okay.
But we were part of a unique time where it was like we didn't have social media growing up.
Yeah, it was
until later on. And then we had, we kind of grew up having some access to it. But for the most part, I was making home videos with my brother. That was like our entertainment back then.
I used to make videos too.
Yeah.
With
Like my dad had a big giant camcorder and me and my brother would just like pick a random like skit we wanted to do. It was like before the TikTok. We were doing TikToks
You were already a
basically back
TikTok
then.
influencer.
That's why like my skills with editing and all of that now are where they're at, is because I just always kind of enjoyed doing like media and stuff like that way back then. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just interesting now to see the generations that are growing up with social media as like an influence. And it's a lot.
Isn't it crazy? Like I've been seeing a lot of the influencers on TikTok, how they're now what is it? They're using Twitch. They go around.
Oh yeah.
They literally, it's like their own reality TV show.
Yeah.
And they make good money from it. But it's
I've
just
seen that popping up.
It's crazy to me because a lot of them are probably not going to, go to school or whatever, but they're making money off of that. And
I mean, there's so
building a
much
brand.
opportunity that has opened up because of social media. So that's the page I'm trying to be on.
Same here.
Like, I'm trying to build my empire with social media as a tool. It's a tool at the end of the day to either whether you want to sell products or make content or build a brand.
Yeah, you could
it's
either
pretty
be
cool.
the consumer
The era that we're in.
or the person doing the consuming.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's okay. Not everybody's meant or wants to do that. But if anybody ever wants to do that, that's kind of where I have offered my knowledge and services. If anyone is, even if you're watching this and you're not an esthetician, I do offer coaching calls. So I've talked to other people that are not estheticians that just want advice on how to build their pages, because I've tapped into other, like I was telling you with the food and traveling, like I know how to make those videos go viral and stuff on TikTok. And I'm starting to try to do other topics and things and not just skincare. But you do have to niche down. You do have to find your sweet spot and whatever it is that you enjoy making content about, because it's not just a couple videos. You know how many videos I've made in the last 5 years? Like a lot.
Thousands?
Yeah. So you have to really find something that you're like, I can keep
Do you
doing
post every
this.
day?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
right now.
Okay.
No, actually have just like a bare minimum for myself of posting once on my story. And this is on my business page. So
Okay.
sorry, if you follow my personal page, you're not going to see this type of
Yeah.
consistency. But the business page, I'm posting once a day on my story. I take one day completely off though. And then I post once a week on my feed at the least. Something I've had to, when you were talking about how I balance, being a mom and all those other things, is you have sometimes weeks where you're like, I just don't feel like showing my face. I don't feel like filming. And so I asked myself, okay, what's the bare minimum that I think I could do no matter how I'm feeling that I could stick to instead of just completely disappearing? Because sometimes you feel like disappearing
Ah,
completely. Because you just, yeah, I mean,
man.
especially us women, we go through the cycles every month, and there's certain parts of your cycle where you're like, I just feel disgusting.
Yeah. Those first 2 days, you're like, do not call
Yeah.
me. I'm going to be at home on my bed rotting and
Yes.
not sorry.
And then too, just like you're just more emotional or testy and all of that. And so I've set that bare minimum for myself just so I don't completely disappear, but that I'm still showing up.
That's good. I'm glad that you do that, because sometimes we are hard on ourselves when we do slow down or we take a break and rest. I don't know if it's like it's a thing where it's hard for us to just rest and not feel bad.
A video I heard was that seasons of rest are necessary. It's like the seasons. We have fall, summer, winter, spring for a reason. Like the universe needs those seasons too
Yeah.
of resetting, and you also as a human being need to reset. So there's value in that rest. So sometimes you're gonna have periods of time where where you need to grind and you need to establish yourself. Most of the books that I've read say, the first 5 to 10 years of your business or your brand are the hardest, because
Yeah.
you got to work the hardest. At one point, you're going to be able to take a little bit more of a step back, and things will just kind of organically be moving because you set that foundation. So yeah, there's periods of time where you are going to need to grind, and and this is where I've tried to create some more boundaries with that though, because I think there was like kind of a glamorization of staying up late and pulling all-nighters. That's okay here and there, but if you keep doing that to yourself, you're going to again burn out. So you got to make a schedule for yourself that can sustain the long term. And we're talking 5+ years, 10 years. And that's kind of what I've been working on in this past year. Is just like, what can I do that can sustain me for a long time so that I don't just completely quit? Because this is actually the longest I've ever stuck to anything. Anything before that, I never completed Like I would pursue part of it and do well, and then just be like, oh, okay, I'm kind of done with this, or I think I want something else, which is fine. Again, there's different chapters, but I feel like with what I'm doing now, I'm never going to quit this type of work. It might look different in the future, but this is the path that I'm sticking to. And that's really crazy and cool to say, because not everybody finds that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, eventually everyone will find that path. But I've just been trying to find a schedule that works for me and that I can keep going, because it's hard. It's definitely hard to balance everything, just being an adult, having a business, having kids, and just dealing with life stuff. So that stuff's just going to continue. There's never going to be a point where you're doing your business and you're like, oh, everything's great, everything's perfect now. Like, there's always going to be something in the behind the scenes or something that will shake things up, and it's just how you bounce back. How resilient are you? And those set apart the winners, because it's the people that can, like with the turtle and the rabbit in the race.
The
Turtle's like going slow and steady, and the rabbit just burning out and not making it to the finish line. Be the turtle.
Enjoy the journey and slow
Yes.
down. I think that's the perfect way to close this podcast episode down. But before we close down, is there anything you want to leave the collective with, or Where can they find you? Is there any events coming up for you that you're doing that they can look out for?
Yeah,
Or
well, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and, I would say if you're an SD, there's a lot of things coming. I'm doing a training this month, my first in-person training that I've done in a while because I had to take a break because, again, I was just having to ask myself, "How can I keep going?" And I was doing trainings back in 2022 a lot. And then I was going through a season where I was like, this, I don't want to completely stop, but where's my energy going that it needs to be going? And so I'd taken a pause on the trainings for a minute. And so now they're coming back. I rebranded and it's coming back and better. And so I'm doing that this month and we have some students enrolled in that already. So it's probably a little maybe too late by the time this comes out for anyone to
really?
hop on that. But I'm sure I'll do it again in the future. It might not be the exact same training, but it'll be something else of value that can help SCs trying to master their solo practices. And then of course the retreats, the Costa Rica one filled up, but I do plan on going more places. I'm thinking Bali is going to be the next
Ooh,
one. So, be
awesome.
on the lookout for that, even if you're not an SD, because I actually have some other acquaintances and friends of mine going to Costa Rica that are just entrepreneurs. They're just other women
Well, that's
who
good
are
to
trying.
know because
Yeah,
I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna go to Costa Rica.
yeah, no, totally. You can come. I mean, again, I'm marketing it more to the SDs,
Yeah.
but I do have like my hairstylist is going, my friend who's a makeup artist, and my friend who's a personal trainer is going.
Damn, you got a
So
whole variety. I love it.
yeah, yeah. So it's totally for women, supporting women and being entrepreneurs and things like that, and just retreating together and connecting together.
I love that.
And so yeah, I'm definitely planning on trying to do more of those. Yeah, I offer, the online resources and yeah, that's pretty
Coaching.
much where it's
y-
at now. We'll see what develops later on. I definitely have some things in the work, but they're still in the work.
y-
But
They'll
more
get
to
there.
come, definitely more to come.
And you said you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, just type in Kristen Marie Esthetician and my videos will pop up. So, yeah, it's been really cool and I really appreciate, the love and support that you've shown me and anybody else watching. I would not be here without all of you guys. Like I God gave me this platform for a reason and I hope that what I can leave behind is just like a good legacy behind my name and to help others succeed and thrive. That's the goal.
I love that. That is a perfect way to close down. I'm grateful to know someone like you. And although we don't talk all the time and hang out like that, it's just nice to know that there's people in my life that are also on that same frequency, that are also about women empowerment,
Yeah.
that are also just trying to grind and make something out of themselves. Like your post and the way that you're building your business is an inspiration. It has
Thank you.
also inspired me too. I'm just grateful that you took the time to come on here on my platform,
Yeah, I
share
want to
your
see you
platform,
succeed.
I
Yeah, because you're
appreciate that.
building it. And
You're
yeah,
seeing it from the bottom right
no,
now.
I love that. And I want to
Um,
be on another episode
hey, let's
in the
do it.
future and see how, you keep
Yeah,
growing.
there'll be more seasons to come. I'm still, working out the
Yeah.
logistics of stuff. I'm done with school at the end of this year, so
Okay.
next year I'll be able to pour more into this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But
If there's a certain topic or anything we talked about that anyone wanted us to expand on, like comment below and let us know what
ooh,
you want to hear about maybe next time I come on.
you would be down?
Yeah, of
Let's
course.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all.
I could talk, 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 talk all day. I have way more. Again, I was prepared. I came here like prepared to share, whatever. But
Yeah,
again, there's a lot to unpack.
most
There's a
definitely.
lot to unpack behind
And there's not
everything
an
that is seen online that I've been able to achieve. There's so much more that goes into that. And I think that's why I wanted to offer those more in person stuff because I do feel like I connect a little better with people like face to face
hell
and
yeah.
hearing people's stories. And it's been really cool to meet some of my followers. And as you grow your following and you start meeting people in person and you start seeing the tears in their eyes of just like, I watched your episode and it changed my life. Yeah, think
I
about that
can't
because
wait for
it'll
that.
happen.
Yeah.
And it's very beautiful to meet people face to face and see how the work you're doing, even though it doesn't feel like anything's happening right now, that you are making an impact, even if it's just one person. That's just what I keep focusing on is even if it's just one person that I changed their life, it's worth it.
I appreciate you saying that. because I truly feel that even just with the people I'm recording with and the feedback I'm getting, it's been amazing. I'm in gratitude every single day, and I love coming here and just doing this.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
So thank you.
See you soon.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So, hey, she's going to be back. And if you got any questions or you want us to talk about something, put it in the comments. As always, please like and subscribe. Share this episode. Share my other episodes. It costs you nothing. It just
Nothing.
takes maybe a minute to do it. And I truly appreciate it. And I appreciate you. And the more you're able to do that, the more I'm able to invest in this podcast and give you guys gems, give you the resources that people charge you for. This
Mhm.
right here, what we're sharing, this is real knowledge, knowledge that you got to pay for, but you're getting it for free. So thank you. We love you. Until the next episode.
Bye.